Hey everyone, I'm just gonna send that to them. No. Nope. Only with him. I'm just not letting my anxiety take over. I want Darren to be happy. Oh, listen. Hey everyone, since Darren he's off, well, he should be on. I'm going to do on YouTube until he comes on. So I'm gonna do that. I don't know when he's coming on. He's probably doing something. It happens. Hey, did you send that to Rhino and then I send you an invite so you can come in when you can, okay, please? Okay. My scribes.
Hello, everybody. We just hit 9 million subscribers on YouTube, and I just want to say thank you all so much for supporting me.
Okay, yeah. Let's please not do that again. These are pretty cool. They must have changed the look of YouTube. Okay, now let's go random. I thought I subscribed where Skatsberry. If you guys don't know who Skatsberry is, I think he's like my most favorite YouTuber. He does a lot of funny Skyrim stuff. It's cool. You okay now?
Need something? Yes.
Oh, there you are. Hey, did you send that to Rhino?
Not yet, but I'm going to right now.
Oh, okay, because I sent it way before I even sent you. Oh, I kind of had to send you the invite because it tells me to, but I did the sign in after I sent that video to you, like you said you wanted me to. Oh,
no, and all I have to do is go to your YouTube every single time. You know.
Well, you know, if it helps a lot, send it to
I
me.
subscribed to Matthew, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who did you subscribe me?
Because you never know what you actually learn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I did too. You're not that guy that does those theories or whatever they're called. Because
So I
inscribed to him too. This is cool.
Let me just, you know.
Okay.
And then we'll do the Toonami thing afterwards.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I forgot there's a new Toonami thing out.
Oh. Interesting. Cool. Yeah.
So.
That's awesome. You can do that.
Well, let me screen share this so that.
Let me go over my screen if you want.
Let me screen share this. Come on. Where are you, you stupid thing of shit?
I like your Thor shirt, by the way.
Let me just go to Rhino real quick.
Cool. Has he made any new music or?
Yeah, I still have to crack open his CD.
Oh, you got it.
But yeah, I got the CD when I was a kid.
Cool, lucky you.
But the thing is, I need to get a new CD case for it.
Why would happen to the CD case?
It's just a plastic.
Oh, are you talking about putting like a CD case thing, like the stuff?
Oh, like an actual. Yeah, I need to find an actual CD case for
You
it.
need to get a big one because I think you got a bunch of CDs, don't you?
Yeah, I need to find an actual CD case for it, which I do, but I have my computer thing for it, which I'm not going to use.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like I said, you got a lot of stuff like DVDs and DVD and CDs that you need to put on a shelf. So if you're like you need like a shelf so it can be easy to get to the access to them. The movies and stuff.
The hell?
What's it saying?
Hold on. Let me see if I can actually get in this. What the fuck?
That sounds right.
No, it has like a weird image on it, so I thought like I'd be able to.
Okay. No, it just ways in this, and the cat was like in this.
Hold on. Let me see if I can actually get in this.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. No, it had like a weird image, so I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I seen it was kind of weird.
what the hell is this? I'm like, okay. So I'm just wondering what the heck that was.
Right. I would be curious too.
Alright. Just let me. Alright, can you thing doesn't
Wait,
go back and forth like it did before?
what?
I'm in a full screen, remember?
Oh yeah, do that. It worked.
Because I
Let me stick it on you so it won't keep switching.
let me actually look that. Let me actually look it up first, because I want to actually. I actually want to see if it'll actually do it.
Right.
So hold on, which I can do because I have a stinking.
This movie because I'm still proud of it. We made this as an advertisement.
I have a stinking stream on his thing, so I can look at it real quick to see if it actually does that.
Oh, okay. That's good. Smart pants.
Oh shoot. Okay.
The movie. Basically, we adapted from the manga a bit of the early backstory.
Oh, they're talking about Scott Pilgrim.
Kim in the film to sort of explain
yeah, Scott's pill. Oh, yeah.
sort of frosting towards Scott. Part of the story gap that they had in the movie didn't go into that you don't really need, but this gives you the reason why Kim is like thinks Scott's full of shit, and it's from the manga. And we adapted it directly with Brian and Edgar Wright's assistance and approval, and I like the way it turned out. So we're just going to show that again. This is Scott Pilgrim versus the animation.
Did you win?
Not really.
Jesus, Scott.
Well, at least you're honest.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm Lisa.
How come?
How long have you been here?
15 minutes.
And you already got beat up? You must be totally great. We should be friends.
Yeah? New kid. You're with Kimberly, okay?
Hi.
Hi. What are we doing?
It's some retarded partner thing you'll probably suck right off and I'll end up doing all the work.
Nice to meet you. I'm Scott.
Pleasure's all mine.
Why do you want to start a band anyway? I mean, obviously I suck at guitar.
Scott, if we had a band, we would be cool. Even if we suck. We would transcend our class status or whatever and become automatically cool.
Our class status?
You know how I'm not a goth and you're not a jock?
I'm such a jock.
Anyway, they have these, lunch and stuff. Everyone goes. We'll be famous. And anyway, we are instruments.
What about? Well, there's only 2 of us.
Drums would definitely help.
Hey, that girl? That's the girl from my geography class.
Which one? There's like 2 zillion girls up there, dude.
On drums. She totally can play.
She totally is hitting those drums with us.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just letting her in.
Well, I'll get her some eyeliner. What?
Kim P.
You like her? You barely even know her.
I'd like her to join our band.
Did you ask her yet?
I'll ask her on Monday.
Scott! Oh my god! The Bendy Tech Boys! Oh my god! Hey, Candy, everyone up!
Great day to miss the bus.
Scott! They kidnapped Kim!
Simon! I'm here! Help me out! Where is he? Where's Simon Lee? He's on the roof! Yeah! Let her go, sir. I've defeated all your evil bosses. You're finished. Took you long enough.
Scott, this sucks.
This is the best St. Joel's could muster. That's not what you're not.
Oh, it's a you mother. It's not what your mother says.
Last night.
Oh my god.
Mercy. Please. I've been a fool.
I didn't know who'd rescue me from that maniac, but I secretly hoped it would be you, Scott.
I'd like you. We should be dating. Also, do you want to play drums in my band?
Yes, Scott. Oh, yes. You're moving to Toronto? This isn't the end. Find out what happens to Scott, Kim, and a bunch of other people. You stop, tell them where to go. Only fears.
Seeing that little bit of the movie still makes me mad all over again that Edgar Wright didn't do it in Ant-Man. But Anyway, so Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, my second choice, and then for my final choice, anime influenced films, I'm going to choose Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan.
Really, Black Swan?
Black Swan, scary.
I don't know. Oh, freaky.
For an anime influenced film?
Oh,
That's a weird choice.
yeah.
The only reason I didn't.
I like Inside Your Mind, Crazy Town movies. But you like Mr. Robot. Yeah, but that's different. Have you seen the new episode? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think Gil's about to be scared of Mr. Robot. So, Black Swan, Darren Aronofsky, we have talked before. We've showed a clip from one of his films that directly references another Satoshi Kon film, Perfect Blue. There's a scene in Requiem for a Dream that directly replicates a scene from Perfect Blue with
The reason why you
bathtub, to the point where Darren Aronofsky licensed the rights to Perfect Blue simply to recreate that shot. So when Black Swan came out, people knowing about that, basically a couple interviewers asked him, like, hey, Black Swan is about a performer slowly losing her mind, and Perfect Blue is also about a performer slowly losing her mind. And there's a couple shots that seem very, so there's a shot in Perfect Blue where the main character looks out the subway, looks at her own reflection, and there's that same shot repeated in Black Swan, as well as a couple other scenes. And Aronofsky said, no, it's not influenced by Perfect Blue, which is like, come on, dude. I mean, I get what he's saying, which is, look, I just did my movie, and my influences are my influences. That doesn't mean everything I do is copy. And they are different. They're not, it's not a recreation, but is it an influenced by, is it a film that is anime influenced? I think that's unquestionably clear.
okay?
Yeah. The only reason I went back to small screen is because I looked at the stream
this trailer
and
some
it didn't go.
cutting together
It didn't.
Perfect Blue.
Like, you could hear the audio, but
No, it works. It just has a delay to it.
oh, it works.
It does. It just has like a little delay. Like it sits there like on the same page for quite like the same like scene that it was for a little bit, but then it ends up moving on.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, I can.
One queen, the exquisite Nina Sayers.
Like it does that. I don't know why, but it does. It does work. I've seen it move. It just has a delay. But
Okay, so I'm not a complete idiot.
no,
Okay.
you're never gonna be an idiot. You won't say that, please.
Seduce us! Attack it! Attack it! Come on!
Where'd you get these? It's nothing. Sweet girl.
My touch. Respond to it.
Your soup was hot for teacher. I don't want to talk about that. You really need to relax. It's wrong, isn't it? It's all this pressure. I knew it'd be too much. I knew it. What's she doing here? He made me your ultimate.
The only person standing in the way is you.
Hey, no, Alice. I have my ways. Just have to be.
Okay.
Like if you feel the need to not have that delay, then you don't have to put on a full screen if you don't want to.
Like, it doesn't delay for me, but I want to be sure.
It delays a little for me. Like it takes like a minute or two, and it like kind of stops. Like it kind of you can hear it, but then it goes on. Like it moves on. Like you can see
I
the
don't wanna,
and stuff.
Okay, but you can't. I'm watching the stream and you can't see it.
You can't see it.
Like, it's the image, but it.
Yeah, it does that. Then it moves on. So it's weird. I paid attention to it just to see how it works and everything, and just it moves after.
But they won't be.
If you feel that you need to have it on not full screen, you don't have to have it on full screen, honey.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's what it does, but you don't have to have it on if you don't want to. It's not a big deal.
No, that was also 2010. Man, that was 2010. Was the year. All my three choices are from 2010. So yeah, as you can see, I think there are enough similarities that you could clearly see the influence of Satoshi Kon's work on Darin Aronofsky. In point of fact, in point of fact, I think Perfect Blue is a better film than Black Swan.
Can you go on
the
stream?
First films I can
you go on the stream and just watch it?
Grows ever larger just because.
Can you go on the stream and just watch it?
Yeah.
For a few minutes.
Cultural impact.
Come on. Pain in that. Okay, you ready to go?
What do you mean?
Can you go on the stream and just watch it for a few minutes?
I am right now, though.
Just to see what I mean?
Yeah. But just keep it off on full screen if you think you... Keep it off full screen if you think it's not working.
No, but I want you to see what I mean. To see if it actually goes along.
I am. I'm just saying, you know.
All right, did you load it up yet?
Yeah.
You want me to go full screen?
Keep it off on full screen if you think you keep it on full screen. I just have it on I just have my headphones on.
Again, guys. But on. We're 3 for 5 acceptable answers. Yeah, Pulp Fiction is still a little. I don't know that Pulp Fiction has an anime influence. I mean, Tarantino does. So somewhere.
Did it go long or did
top 10? We figured.
Yeah, now
better than 2. It's probably gonna be.
Now, you have it on full screen right now, right?
Potentially having a somewhat confusing question. We didn't feel like it was.
The video, I don't get that much, so you might just want to keep it off full screen.
Yeah.
And we're still hopefully.
That's what I'm doing.
More full album.
Okay.
Those negotiations have somewhat broken down over the time. So
it just don't show up.
Most likely inside DBZ Kai this coming Saturday night. Give your parents of a teacher the dangerous men roam the streets at night. Sucks carpet.
I've been waiting for this. Never find an enemy out there who can satisfy my appetite.
It doesn't matter what you use to justify war.
Freeze up, pain, religion, philosophy, resources, revenge, love.
You can't escape.
The weakness we always want, but the strong will always rule this empire, boy. The force be born. Protect your sacred powers or die trying.
This is a video. They always do music videos about their stuff sometimes.
Do they?
Yeah.
You must do something.
The time will come. Risking everything is the only choice left to us.
Just lower these pubes and be done with it.
Roger that. Come here, smiling. And everything's fine. War. What is it good for? What is it for, Johnny Red?
Political and economic tool of function.
Are you arguing what war is good for?
No, I was just trying to see if
Just let it go.
I'm not a proponent of war. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But Johnny Ray, another excellent music video cut. I thought it was a good job.
Yeah, always. Johnny's amazing with music in particular, so thanks, John.
And then finally, we have another Bloom Room from Steve Bloom. He goes to Birmingham, Alabama, to Magic City Con, which if it were held in Atlanta, would be a significantly different con. But
Arguably equally fun, but
I would say better. But either way, here is Magic City Con in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Bloom Room. This week I'm taking you to Birmingham, Alabama for Magic.
Sorry about that.
City Con with two of my best pals in the industry, voiceover legend Jennifer Hale, and one of my dear friends, one of the funniest people on the planet, and one of the stars of Pirates of the Caribbean, Greg Ellis. So today I'm sitting here at the Houston airport for layover on my way to Birmingham, Alabama, an hour and a half delay. I thought I'd listen to some dialogues.
That's the thing about the buffering. I hate the buffering.
Yeah. So do I. Drives me nuts. It's like, why don't the video just go smoothly? And
it does. It's just, I'm not like.
I know.
It does when I'm not on the stream.
Right. But you okay doing it on a stream, right?
Yeah, it's just sometimes it takes
Sometimes it takes all
forever. Shit. Okay, I just have to like get it. I just have to
kind of refresh it.
Yeah, because sometimes it does that where it just goes black.
Right. Just, it's crazy.
So I think we showed it a year after it aired in Japan. I mean, I honestly think we showed it around 2003, but that's what the internet's for. Okay. You'd think we would have figured this out before we were on television talking about it. On pre-flight talking about it. On the internet's talking about the internet. But we will look. We have some clips to show you.
Oh, for God's sake. No, I'm gonna. No.
During those clips, we will frantically use Google.
What's up?
I'm gonna just start the
Audio. Okay.
It just frantically just skipped over the whole Bloom Room segment.
Yeah, just start the audiobook.
I'll watch it later though. I'll watch. We'll do this another day though.
I'm sorry.
We'll do it another day because it's.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not your fault. I'm just like, come on.
Right.
You know, this audiobook will probably take a few days
Which is alright.
because you know what's this? Because it tells you how much.
Tells you more about the show than you.
Reaction video from Operation Flame, a video put together by Melina Official, who basically put together a lot of people, yours truly included, to do a tribute video for Torchwood Boy, a really amazing guy on YouTube who he does a lot of reaction videos, and it's been requested that I do a reaction video for this, and really other context with it as well. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I just wanted to give my reaction live once again for the first time. So let's get started. In tribute of Torchwood, the following video is released to the public with the hope of inspiring new reactors and entertainment. Furthermore, this is also part of our reactor contest to enter simply record and upload your reaction to this video. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together in this video. 5, 3, 2, 1. I see a bunch of tweets. That's a lot of tweets. That's a lot of tweets. That's a whole lot of tweets.
Okay. This audiobook will probably take a couple days because it's
Which is
2 hours. 5
fine.
hours.
Really. Like 5.
Yeah, it's like 5 hours long.
Well, that's like a whole book, though.
Yeah.
And books take you a long time anyway.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to be surprised about.
Sorry, I'm just getting it. I'm getting it ready.
You can get it ready.
5 hours, 49 minutes, really.
Oh wow.
I told you it would take a couple hours.
Oh yeah, it's a book. It's gonna take a while. It's understandable, dude. Which I don't mind because I like audiobooks. They are quite common. They keep you calm. Do that in school, you know.
No, I just sent you it.
To kind of.
Yeah, to kind of use for myself.
Okay.
But if I get off and shit. Forget it. But if I get off and want to continue it, then you can continue it.
What do you mean get off, like, for the night, or?
No, I mean get off the stream. I have to get off of the stream. For dinner or something.
Right.
Did you send that to Lionel, and then I send you an invite, please, and then when you get an invite, please.
I'm gonna like this
Doctor
guy.
Who. Winner takes all.
I'm gonna like this
By
guy.
Jacqueline Ray.
Apparently he's all the.
Read by David Thorpe. It lasts 5 hours, 49 minutes. Here's a brief description of the book. Rose and the Doctor return to present-day Earth and become intrigued by the latest craze, the video game Death to Mantideans. Is it as harmless as it seems? And why are so many local people going on holiday and never returning? Meanwhile, on another world, an alien war is raging. The Quevils need to find a new means of attacking the ruthless Mantideans. Searching the galaxy for cunning, warlike but gullible allies, they find the ideal soldiers on Earth. Doctor Who. Winner Takes All by Jacqueline Ray. The Nick. I thought I'd better call home, said Rose, wandering into the TARDIS's huge vaulted control room and waving her phone at the Doctor. The Doctor had his arms crossed and was leaning with his back against a wall, staring across at the large circular structure that sat in the centre of the room, on which a myriad of lights flickered and sparkled.
I'm just gonna do full screen because
His
it's
face
just
shone
the
green
audio.
in the glow,
Hey.
a tall, thin column in the centre of the
There's no
structure.
pictures anyway, just audio. You don't really see anything.
Rose didn't know where they were
Like,
going,
it's just the picture.
but perhaps the Doctor could tell from observing these things exactly
Hold on.
where in the universe the time and space machine was taking them. He nodded at her. Felt slightly cheated. Having geared herself up for, well, not an argument, just that flicker of displeasure that occasionally crossed his face when she mentioned family. She pushed a bit further. It's just that my mum will worry. You know that my mum will worry. And I did promise, sort of. He nodded again. And you think she'll worry less if you tell her you've been out facing aliens, but at the moment you're just spinning through the space-time vortex. Rose frowned. She'll worry less if she thinks I'm not dead. The Doctor. Her best friend. The Doctor, who outwardly seemed to be a striking 40-ish human with a soft northern accent, but was, she knew, actually a 900-year-old alien.
This is from the Christopher Eggleston days.
Is it?
Because they just mentioned the northern accent.
Oh. Okay.
Some galaxy far, far away, could be a bit dismissive of her mum's worries sometimes. She wasn't sure if it was something to do with not being human, or just something to do with being the Doctor. She didn't even know if he'd ever had a mum of his own. If you didn't understand mums in general, there was no way you'd get Jackie Tyler. I'll just give her a quick call. Well, say quick. She'll keep me on for hours, wanting to know everything. She can talk for England, my mum can.
Oh, that's funny.
Planning to stop off at any planets this morning. He grinned. My planet hopping can wait till this afternoon. She smiled back and pressed the speed dial button that called her mum. She just had to accept that through the doctor's genius, her ordinary mobile could now transcend space and time.
It's getting pretty
If
dark.
she thought about it too much, her mind began to feel like it was overheating. Phone rang 6 times before it was picked up, which surprised Rose. Her mum loved nothing better than a good old natter, and the phone was usually snatched up when it had barely got out its first ring. "Hi, Mum," she said. The voice at the other end was exuberant. "Rose, what are you doing? Where are you?" Then a slight pause. "Are you still with him?" Rose smiled. "I'm just hanging around in the time machine, and yeah, I'm still with him." The doctor looked up at this and did a sarky wave that she knew was directed at Jackie. Rose waved back happily. "Mum says hi," she said, with her hand over the phone. "And are you planning on coming home anytime soon?" Jackie was saying. "Everyone misses you. Mickey misses you. I miss you. You know, one of these days you'll decide to come home and it'll be too late. I won't be here anymore." Rose sighed. "Hey, silly Mum. I'll pop back for a visit soon. Make sure the family silver gets a good polish ready." "Family silver?" Rose could hear Jackie's voice go up a notch. "It might please you to joke, my girl, but I'll have you know that I've just won the lottery." "You what?" Rose said. "It's incredible. I don't believe it. How much?" There was a sound somewhere outside Jackie's end of the phone call. A shout or a cry or something. "Listen, love, I've got to go now. Lovely to hear from you. I've got to go." There was a click, and the phone was silent. Rose looked down at me.
You like this? Yes, I do.
In surprise. Then, shaking her head, she slipped the phone back in her pocket. "Talk for England, you said," the doctor commented, strolling over to the central controls. "Can't get her off the phone." "My mum's won the lottery." Rose started pacing around the control room, her eyes shining. "How brilliant is that? We'll be able to get a great big house." The doctor raised an eyebrow, gesturing at the enormous room in which they stood.
Did you know how big the TARDIS is?
Huge.
Yeah, it's bigger on the inside. Wink, wink. That's what they see in the show. But like, TARDIS is like the big, and I'm explaining too much. She just mentioned being a big house, and you know how big it is.
Yeah.
"Go on holiday. The Caribbean or somewhere. Or Florida." The doctor stared at her. "I can take you anywhere in time and space." She wasn't listening. "I've always wanted to go to Disneyland." "Yeah, brilliant. Grown men dressed up as mice and kids being sick on roller coasters. I can take you to planets where there are real talking mice and ducks." She shrugged. "But you haven't though, have you? And you wouldn't take my mum anyway." He grinned. "Well, maybe not. Don't want to scare the mice." He carried on before Rose could respond. "She all happy then, is she? Too busy spending to talk to you?" Rose grimaced. "Yeah, that was weird." She paused for a second and then gave him what she hoped was a winning smile. "Don't suppose we could pop home for a bit, could we? Just to check on her." "Do you think something's up?" he asked. "No, not really. But she did say something about not being there when I get back," Rose said. "Don't want to turn up one day and find she's gone off to some country mansion and chucked out all my stuff. A couple of old posters and a teddy bear. Yeah, that'd be a tragedy." Rose gave him a mock glare. "I'm 19 years old. I think I've grown out of teddy bears, and I do have a few more possessions than that, some of which have sentimental value, I'll have you know."
Thank you very much.
When we were 9, they started testing us. We saw visions of murder. They called it pre-crime until it was abolished.
These drawings picture the scene of at least a dozen murders.
"Can't the others I don't see enough. It still happens. You need to catch him. Could we go home, please? Just for a flying visit, I promise. Yeah, all right. He nodded and started setting a course. I don't know. Humans always come with so much baggage. Yeah, it's a crime, isn't it? She agreed. And then, after a moment, you don't really think she'd chuck out Mr. Tedopoulos, do you? The doctor just grinned. Chapter 1. The TARDIS landed in a courtyard on the Powell estate. Rose popped her head out of the doorway and saw the Chinese takeaway in front of her, the library and youth club over to one side, and realised that the time machine had come back to its favourite spot. It had landed here before.
Because you know the TARDIS is alive, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
She stepped out of the spaceship. On the outside, it looked like a tall blue box, an old-fashioned police box, big enough in its way, big enough to fit in 5 or 6 people, if they were prepared to be quite friendly, but not big enough to fit an enormous control room and all the other bits that formed the inside of the TARDIS. She had come to accept it. Funny how quickly you got used to even the most incredible things. But it was something else that her mind didn't really like to dwell on, not the ins and outs and hows and whys of it all. There to her right was Bucknell House, and there, if she squinted upwards, was number 48. Home. Or was it? She turned back to the blue box. Well, no one said you couldn't have more than one home. Rose had still got a key, but as the two of them climbed up the concrete steps towards the flat, she wondered if she should really use it. Key out of her pocket, look at it, put it back in, take it out again, look at it. It wasn't as if her mum was expecting her.
Use the key.
She didn't want to catch her out.
Right.
Jackie had won the lottery. The champagne would have been flowing a bit, and goodness knows what state the flat and Jackie would be in by now. She hesitated for a moment on the walkway outside the front door, key in her hand. Then she knocked on the door. After a moment, it opened on the chain, which Rose thought a bit odd, but forgot it almost at once when she saw her mum, petite and blonde, just like Rose herself, peering through the gap. The chain came off immediately, and the door had barely swung open when Jackie had her arms round Rose. "You're here! You're here!" Rose grinned as she hugged her mum back. "Yeah, looks like it." Jackie looked at her accusingly as she came out of the embrace. "But don't tell me, you're not stopping." "Oh, we'll hang around for the party," Rose said. "The party? I'm expected to throw a party every time you turn up on the doorstep." "Oh, Mum," said Rose, following her into the flat. "The party because you've won the lottery." Jackie gave a snort of laughter, turning to look back at the doorway. "That? I just won some games thing, you know, on the scratch cards. Gave it to Mickey." She peered over Rose's shoulder. "Come on, where's his nibs then? Doesn't he want a cup of tea?" The doctor appeared in the doorway, grinning. "Just waiting to be asked in." "He needs to be asked in," Rose said to her mum, "like a vampire does." Jackie looked as if she believed it, as if she thought the doctor might turn into a bat any minute. "Not really," Rose added. "Shall we have that cup of tea then?" "So what's this scratch card thing?" Rose asked after a bit when they were settled comfortably on the white leather chairs in the lounge and onto their second cup each. Jackie leaned over to grab hold of her bag. She put in a hand and pulled out a sheaf of bits of orange cardboard. Rose took a couple. They all had a picture of a cartoon animal on them, with a giant speech bubble coming out of its mouth. The speech bubble had bits of silvery stuff on it with, "Sorry, you've not won this time. Please try again," showing through on the card underneath, where the silver had been scratched off. "What's that? A hedgehog?" said Rose, indicating the cartoon animal. "Percy the porcupine," said Jackie. "It's this character they're using. Test promotion in this area. Every time you buy something down the town, you get one of these cards. Then you go to a little booth
where there's some poor out-of-work student dressed as a porcupine and they give you your prize. The thing is, they didn't even think to limit the number of cards you can get. If you get all your shopping a bit at a time, you can get dozens of the things. I got 8 by breaking up a bag of carrots the other day. Oh, Mum, said Rose, part embarrassed, part reluctantly proud. Jackie sniffed. Don't you owe Mum me. It's not like I've got a lot to look forward to. My only daughter off gallivanting around the galaxy and me all alone here. Big prize is holiday, and I've got an half do with that. Sun, sand, many little shorts. Talking mice, Rose muttered under her breath, but Jackie wasn't listening. Mrs. all down the road one. It's wasted on someone like that. You know what she's like? Probably won't take her hat and coat off even if it's 80 degrees, and there's me with a bikini still with its label on stuck in the drawer that I've never had a chance to wear. Oh, Mum, said Rose again. Nothing like getting something for nothing, is there? Was in the doctor. And what's wrong with that, I'd like to know, said Jackie briskly. Nothing. That's what I said. The doctor took the cards from Rose and examined them. Just odd, don't you think? They don't seem to be promoting anything in particular. Beware porcupines bearing gifts and all that. Rose took back the cards and handed them to her mum. It's interesting, ain't it? They'll do the proper promoting when it's all over the country or whatever. Or maybe they just want people to spend more money at the shops. What, do you think it's really aliens trying to take over the world with free holidays and games consoles? Yeah, well, it could happen, said the doctor. He got up and wandered out of the room. Don't mind us, Jackie called after him. Make yourself at home. I will, Ta. The doctor's voice came back. Rose turned back to Jackie. Glad you're not moving to a country mansion, though. What? I thought you'd won the lottery, remember? Jackie sighed. Wish I was getting out of this place. She looked genuinely down for a moment. Rose stared. Did you love this place? All your friends are here and everything. Jackie shrugged. It's gone downhill since you left, sweetheart. Do you remember that Darin Pye went to your school? Rose thought for a second and then shuddered. 2 years above me. Like a shaved gorilla, only not as handsome. Hardly ever turned up, and when he did, the police were usually not far behind him. Dumb kids just for their lunch money. Only he didn't stop with lunch money, and he didn't stop with dumping either. He's moved in 2 down 3 across, said Jackie. Rose tried to picture which flat she meant. What happened to Mrs. McGregor? Started wandering about the streets in her 90. Thought it was still the war. That Tony of hers put her in an home down Sydenham way. And the council put in Darin Pye. They put in Mrs. Pye, which means you get Darin. Jackie shuddered. It was when you phoned. He'd been having a go at that Jade. Took her purse and her mobile, and she won't call the police. He said he'd have her if she did. Wouldn't let her down the stairs, and she thought he was going to push her down them. She's due any day. I had to go to her. She was crying so much I thought she'd have the baby then and there. You're reading the papers how long it takes ambulances to get here these days. She paused, half worried, half indignant. She was that scared. I gave her my phone so she can call for help if she needs it. And I don't begrudge her, although I'll miss it till I get it back. I hope she's not answering calls meant for me. I know it's not like aliens and that. And he's not even really hurt anyone yet. And it's not like he's trying to take over the world, but the doctor wandered back in then, hands behind his back, and leapt on this. Yeah, aliens trying to take over the world usually have a better motive than just wanting to make people's lives a misery. Rose looked at the doctor. So, are we going to sort him out then? The doctor looked at her in mock surprise. I'd save anything smaller than a planet. He grinned and pulled his hands out from behind his back. He was holding something blue and furry. Oh, and sometimes a teddy bear. She grabbed the furry object. Mr. Tidopoulos! Then she thought for a second and used the bear to whack him across the chest. You went in my bedroom? Chapter 2. Rose thought they'd better go and see Mickey while they were there. because he'd never forgive her if they didn't, or so Jackie said, and Rose thought she was probably right. After all, it wasn't as if they'd ever formally split up. But long-distance relationships were bad enough when one person went off to college or got a job further than the end of a tube line. When someone was coming from London to the end of the world, or to Victorian times or something, they didn't really stand much chance at all. Mickey didn't seem particularly surprised to see them, and Rose guessed, which Mickey confirmed, that her mum had been on the phone the instant they left the flat. She looked at him and felt an unexpected wave of affection surge through her. With his gorgeous dark skin and twinkling eyes, he really had been a bit of a catch. Didn't have a time machine, of course, but even so. But that was her old life, and she wasn't that person anymore. "Oh, we're not interrupting anything," she said. "Just playing a game, babe," he said. "And you're how old?" "6," said the doctor. "Nice bit of snakes and ladders, is it? Or something a bit more sophisticated, like Snap?" Mickey didn't seem to take offence. "This games thing that Rose's mum got me. Thought it was a bit of a rip-off at first. Not a PlayStation or an Xbox or anything. And you only get one game, but it's brilliant. You'd like it. All aliens and stuff." The doctor seemed unconvinced. "Come on, I'll show you," Mickey said. The doctor had dragged a second chair up close to the TV, and Rose was perched on its arm. There was a pile of games on the floor. Gran Turismo, Resident Evil, Bad Wolf, Time Splitters 2, loads of football stuff. She had picked up the top one and was examining it. An orange cardboard box that had a picture of a cartoon porcupine shooting a cartoon insect thing on it. Big black letters gave the game's name: Death to Mantideans. The two men were discussing the game itself, passing the control pad between chairs across rows. She might have been a cushion for all the notice they were taking of her. "Smart graphics," said the doctor. "Yeah, first person's cool, isn't it?" said Mickey. "All Blair Witchy, like you really feel like you're there, yeah? And it's never the same twice. The amount of variables they must have programmed in it's amazing." "And it's got these porcupines in it, has it?" said Rose, trying to take part in the conversation. It wasn't as if she couldn't have been really good at this stuff herself if she'd wanted to be, but she just couldn't see the point. "The ones from the promotion?" "Yeah, right at the beginning," Mickey said. "They're at war with these other things called Mantideans, like giant praying mantises sort of thing. And they sent them off on a mission to infiltrate the enemy stronghold. That's what it's all about. I bet they'll pop up a bit at the end, though, if you win. No one's done it yet, though." "How'd you know?" Rose asked. "'Cause I have my finger on the pulse, babe." She kept looking inquiringly at him till he continued. "They're offering a prize. First person to complete the game gets a load of cash, so everyone around here wants to give it a go. Nag at their mums till they win a game off the shopping. Set up a message board on the net and that, talking about it. Hardly anyone's even got past the training level." "Training level?" said the doctor. "Yeah, that's what they call it. It's all cartoony, not like this stuff." He indicated the screen, which currently showed a realistic-looking view of a tunnel entrance. "All tests and that. If it weren't for the prize, I reckon a lot of people would have given up. But once you've done it, you get into this intro about the proper game, the mission, and you get to play the good stuff." "And not many people have got that far then?" asked Rose, pretending interest just for something to say. "Nah, hardly any, I reckon. So just call me the man and get ready to worship at my feet, because that prize is going to be mine." The doctor pointed at an indicator in the corner of the screen. The score wasn't very high. "Yeah, looks like you're on the home stretch, the man." Mickey got all defensive. "Yeah, well, no one's got very far yet. Reckon there's a glitch or something. Half the time it doesn't save your game and you have to go back to the beginning. And the puzzles you've got to work out, they're like mega brainy stuff, maths and that." "Puzzles?" said the doctor. Mickey reached across Rose for the controller and pressed down on a button. On the TV screen, Rose watched a shaky corridor rush past. At the end was an imposing-looking door. A panel on the door came into focus with numbers and letters scrolling across it. The doctor sat up. "I'm surprised anyone's got past this at all. Look at the algorithms on that."
It's probably Gallifreyan or alien.
Right.
Because these melted Danes or these hedgehog things are probably alien.
Yeah. Just true. Could be true.
Yeah.
Mickey grinned. Ladies present. The doctor leaned
Wait. I missed that. Probably a sex show.
across rows and took the controller off Mickey. There's also
No, I missed something. It was probably a sex joke.
Oh, jeez, Darren.
the different ones, Mickey said helpfully. Some are sort of, pictogrammy things, or odd ones out, that sort of thing. The doctor was already staring at the screen, muttering things like,
Sorry.
What sorts of different ones, Mickey said.
Oh.
Dr. Lee sat up. I'm surprised anyone's got past this at all. Look at the algorithms on that. Mickey grinned. Ladies present. The doctor leaned across rows and took the controller off Mickey.
Okay, algorithms, okay.
There's all sorts of different ones, Mickey said helpfully. Some are sort of, pictogrammy things, or odd ones out, that sort of thing. The doctor was already staring at the screen, muttering things like, "Convert that section to binary. D equals 8.9 Y." With a triumphant yell, he snapped at the controls. On the screen, the door slid open. Watch out! They're the bad guys, the Mantidean. Ciao, called Mickey. The door slid open. Watch out, called Mickey. They're the bad guys, the Mantideans. On the other side,
You like this so far?
Yes, I do. Can I ask you a question though?
Yeah.
If you have to go, are you gonna mute yourself or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Because I at least want to get far before I go.
Right. Me
At
too.
least somewhat, so I won't have to like reset the thing.
Right.
the door, there was a cluster of monsters, which were, as Mickey had said, like giant green praying mantises. It's like giant cluster of monsters. On the other side of the door, they're the bad guys, the Mantideans. On the other side of the door, there was a cluster of monsters, which were, as Mickey had said, like giant green praying mantises. They stood upright on stick-thin legs and had terrifying pincer-like jaws that they began to snap together as they approached the door. It looked as if they were heading straight for the screen, as if they'd come out into Mickey's living room if they didn't stop. "Do I have any weapons?" asked the doctor. "Arrow keys to aim, red button to fire," said Mickey. On the screen, the monsters shrieked one by one as each fell in a blaze of laser beams. "You don't like guns," said Rose critically. "I hate guns," replied the doctor. Which isn't to say that a bit of fantasy violence can't be therapeutic. Now, here's the next door. "Will there be any more Mantideans to the side, I wonder?" "Yeah, probably," said Mickey. "Only now they know you're there, they won't be so easy to get. First couple of times I did this, I got my head bitten off." "Brilliant," said the doctor. Mickey leaned forward and looked across at him. "Come off it, you do this stuff for real. What's so exciting about playing a game?" The doctor leaned back on his chair. "Yeah, well, the thing about games, as opposed to real life, is 1, you're owning your reflexes, right? 2, you're practicing strategic
Well, he's right.
Yeah, he is.
thinking. And 3, you've usually got a couple of thinking. 2, your reflexes, right? 2, you're practicing strategic thinking. And 3, you've usually got a cup of tea and a packet of hobnobs at hand. And 4, real aliens aren't trying to bite your head off, right? The doctor grinned. "Yeah, I suppose there's a downside as well." "So, about that cuppa then." "You had 2 cups of my mum's," said Rose, "and 3 sandwiches and 2 cakes." "Don't tell me England's got a tea restriction law these days," the doctor said. "If it has, I'll probably have to take down the government." "Again?" Mickey shrugged.
Yeah. Because you took down the valedictorians, didn't you, Doctor? So, yeah.
"Whatever, the milk's probably off and there won't be any biscuits. Not since I stopped doing your shopping. be any biscuit. Whatever. Mickey shrugged. Again? Mickey shrugged. Whatever, the milk's probably off and there won't be any biscuits. Not since I stopped doing your shopping for you, Rose put in. He bridled. I never asked you to do my shopping. She nodded. You're right. You never asked. You just gazed at me like an hungry puppy till I felt sorry for you. Mickey grinned and fluttered his eyelashes. Woof, woof. Not looking up from the screen, the doctor said, there's some cash in my pocket. Go and get us some milk and biscuits for you, Rose. Oh, and some Winnerlock for the Jack Russell over there. With an affected sigh, Rose helped herself to a handful of change from the pocket of his battered leather jacket, weeding out a couple of Roman sesterces and a £10 coin, which claimed to show the head of William V. She slid off the chair arm, nearly tripping over the wires that connected the control pad of the games console. Don't miss me too much, she said. The doctor kept his eyes on the screen. Missing you already, he said. Chapter 3. Rose could see down to the shop from the walkway by Mickey's flat. There was hardly anyone around. Maybe they were all indoors playing computer games, like Mickey, hoping to win the prize. Or maybe they'd seen Darin Pye leaning against the wall and decided to steer clear. She recognised him at once, even though she hadn't seen him since he left school. Well, since he stopped coming to school, and that was years ago. She had attracted his attention a few times, because if you were an individual and stood up for things and refused to be a victim, then some people wanted to make you into a victim. But it had never been bad, not like it had for some. And she wasn't going to let a thug like that stop her from going to the shop. She walked down the stairs, out into the courtyard. She virtually saw his ears prick up as her footsteps sounded, and he lazily swung his head round. Oi! Oi, you! She ignored him, kept walking past. I'm talking to you, slag! Ignored him. Oi, slag! Heard your boyfriend done you in. So he knew who she was. Don't believe everything you read in the Beano, she called back. She had faced aliens and goodness knows what. She wasn't going to let an immature thug get to her. It was surprisingly easy. Sticks and stones, she thought. Thought it ran in families, he said. I heard your slag of a mother did in her husband. That made her flush with anger. Anger for her mother and her long-dead father.
Jerk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then she thought again about the aliens she had faced and imagined Darin Pye wetting himself if he came face to face with the Nestine consciousness or something, and that made her smile instead. She went into the shop and browsed the shelves, picking up a 2-pinter of semi-skimmed, a packet of custard creams, and, to be on the safe side, a box of tea bags as well. Thanks, she said to Maureen behind the counter, as everything went into a blue plastic bag. Do I get one of them scratch cards then? Maureen snorted. No, you don't. Blooming things. Everyone's going down the road just so as they can get some stupid prize, even if they only want a loaf of bread. I know mine might be a few pence dearer, but it's £1.20 bus fare on top, which makes my bread a lot cheaper overall. And you can just tell your mum that, young Rosie. Rose laughed. Come off it, like she'd listen. Any chance of something for nothing and my mum will be in there, and she's got a bus pass anyway. She picked up the carrier bag and smiled a farewell. And she was just turning to leave when she heard the cry. It was the sound of someone in pain, and it was followed by laughter. She had never been the sort of person who hesitated when someone was in trouble, mistakenly sometimes. Rose jumps in with both feet, the mum had said, sometimes proudly, more often pityingly. So she ran out of the shop towards the cry. Not that she had to go far. There was Mrs. Desai right in front of her, both hands clutched to her temples as if warding off a blow. There was a little trickle of blood just creeping between her fingers, and behind her, Darin Pye had picked up another stone ready to throw. Sticks and stones, she thought again. They hurt. Rose launched herself at him. It wasn't sensible, and certainly didn't fit in with her policy of ignoring him, but she did it anyway. "Don't you dare!" she yelled. "Don't you dare!" She swung the blue carrier bag at him. He dropped the stone, and there was a satisfying whoomph as a plastic bottle of milk split on impact, showering him with white droplets. He shook it out of his hair like a dog. "Big mistake," he said to her, grabbing her by the hood of her top and yanking her off balance. "Little girl wants to be here." Oh. She twisted out of his grasp. "I've dealt with a lot bigger than you. Not uglier though, and that's saying plenty if you've ever seen a Slovene." Darin gave her a shove. "Bigger mistake," and he pulled out the knife. For a split second, Rose could see nothing but the knife. Then a leather-clad arm descended over Darin's shoulder and twisted his wrist, and the knife clattered to the ground. "Naughty, naughty," said the doctor, shoving Darin away. The lad stumbled a few steps, then caught his balance.
Yes.
The lad stumbled.
What?
Doctor, shoving Darin. "Naughty, naughty."
He saved her.
Oh, yeah.
Said the doctor, shoving Darin. "Naughty, naughty," descended over Darin's shoulder and twisted his wrist. Arm descended over. Then a leather-clad arm descended over Darin's shoulder and twisted his wrist, and the knife clattered to the ground. "Naughty, naughty," said the doctor, shoving Darin away. The lad stumbled a few steps, then caught his balance and picked up the knife again. The doctor stood his ground, strong and imposing. "Really want to risk it?" To Rose's relief.
You like me, don't you?
"Really want to risk it?" Strong and imposing. The doctor stood his ground, strong and imposing. "Really want to risk it?"
Why do you like me?
To Rose's relief.
Because I love
I love you too.
Darin thought better of it. He glared at them both, but then turned and swaggered off, milk still dribbling down his neck.
It's not because of my looks, right?
What?
part of it, yeah. But
Wait.
you're not like a dumb blonde, if that makes sense.
No, I'm not.
You're smart,
So are you.
beautiful, and smart.
I love you.
I love you too.
I just.
Good going.
Round the corner, out of sight, the doctor turned to Rose. And you thought it was a good idea to take on single-handedly someone who's twice your size and take on single-handedly. And you thought it was to Rose. Corner, out of sight, the doctor. Once he was round the corner, neck, turned and swaggered off, milk still dribbling down his neck. Once he was round the corner, out of sight, the doctor turned to Rose. And you thought it was a good idea to take on single-handedly someone who's twice your size and carrying a knife, he said. She shrugged, torn between relief, embarrassment, and bravado. Seemed like a good idea at the time. He glanced down at the dripping carrier bag. You've got a lot of bottle, I'll say that for you. Just call me the Dairy Avenger. Queen of the cream. She grinned. They'll do me for a salt and buttery. Mrs. Desai and Maureen came out of the shop from where they had clearly been watching the show. Good on you, Rose, called out Maureen. Mrs. Desai waved her shy thanks. I'll go get that checked out in casualty if I were you, Mrs. Desai, Rose called back. No, you wouldn't, whispered the doctor in an aside. You'd carry on like a brave little soldier. She threw him a withering look. What are you doing out here anyway? Did your biscuit cravings get the better of you? She pulled the milk-sodden, now crushed packet of custard creams out of the bag and waved it in his face. He took it, opened it, and put a whole one in his mouth. My father thinks the tingling, he said round a mouthful of crumbs and cream filling. Be serious, she said, and it's rude to talk your mouth full. He swallowed the biscuit. I'm being serious. I'm attuned to your distress cries. They come in on a certain wavelength. He wiggled his fingers at his head, miming a frequency being received. For a second, she actually considered that he might be telling the truth. After all, she had no idea how alien brains worked. But she knew he must be having her on really. It wasn't as if she'd even been making any distress cries. She sniffed dismissively as he grinned. I got bored with the game, he said. No challenge for a mind like mine. Did you beat Nicky's score? She asked. What do you think? Of course I did, by several thousand points too. It might have been round about when I was doing the victory yell that he invited me to leave. Rose laughed incredulously. You let Mickey Smith chuck you out? The doctor looked very slightly embarrassed. Told you, I'd had enough of the game, he said. Come on, let's go and do something less boring instead. It was the least deserted part of the planet too, because it had two structures built on it. One resembled a giant pyramid that had had its top sliced off like a boiled egg. But whereas a pyramid has only one entrance, this had hundreds. Sometimes, out of the corner of your eye, it might look as if the building was inside a dome, an immense upturned bowl made of faint purple lines. But there again, that might be a trick of the light. The other building had no visible doors at all. It would be called big, although it was much smaller than the truncated pyramid, square and solid, constructed with little finesse. Inside this building were many rooms, including what was known as the main control room. And inside the main control room, there was uproar. Quevils were running back and forth, checking monitors and dials and readouts. This is amazing, squeaked one. This controller has mastered the game. The speed, the skill. There is a long way to go yet, said another.
They're probably talking about the doctor.
Probably.
Yeah.
Companions ignored the words of caution. The carrier has penetrated. Caution. But his companions ignored. To go yet, said another. But his companions ignored the words of caution. Another. Has mastered the game. The speed, the skill. There is a long way to go yet, said another. But his companions ignored the words of caution. The carrier has penetrated another barrier, called a third excitedly. Victory! Victory approaches! A stocky Queville started shooing a group of his gleeful fellows into a series of booths. Ready yourselves! Do not delay! At the exact moment of success, you will be transported into the Mantadian stronghold. Prepare yourselves for slaughter! The spiny backs of each Queville bristled as they readied themselves for action. One small Queville let a quill fly in excitement. It pinged off the back of the teleport booth, and the stocky Queville who was in charge swung round at the sound. I'm sorry, Frinnel, the small Queville squeaked, terrified. Frinnel glowered. If it were not that I must ready myself for the moment of victory, the moment when I, with a single touch on this button, bring victory to us all, then you would be punished for your indiscipline. His clawed finger was hovering over a huge red button to control the teleporter. Victory approaches. Victory's stopped approaching, said another Queville nervously, claw tapping a dial to make certain of the reading. The humans often pause for a while, said another. They have no stamina. They are not warriors. A murmur of agreement passed through the room. No, the game's been shut off, said the nervous Queville. We just have to hope that the carrier survives until the game is resumed. There was a groan from a Queville watching a monitor. Mantadians in the sector, he said. The others clustered around. Even the Quevilles who had entered the teleport booths came out to see what was happening. It might not see the carrier. Yeah, 2 more coming round the corner. They've spotted it. The one on the left's going to get it. Stupid carrier just standing there. It can't do anything else without the controller. And there it goes. Hook up another carrier back at the beginning for when the controller returns. The leader, Frinnell, grunted. I want that controller. No other has shown such skill. This is the controller who will bring us to our destiny at last. Track the signal. Send a message to our Earth agents. He will play the game for us under our control. He paused. I'm talking of control. He hung the ground till his back was facing the rest. Then, with a swish, he sent a barrage of quills flying towards the hapless small Queville from the teleport booth. The Queville collapsed to the floor. Discipline must be maintained, said Frinnell. Mickey Smith was beginning to regret throwing out the doctor. Not because he wanted the smug kid's company, but because it was obvious that Rose wasn't coming back with the milk and biscuits now her older man had left. He began an expedition through the kitchen cupboards, but there was nothing much except an old box of cereal and a giant jar of pickled onions that had been a recent present from Rose's mum. He unscrewed the lid, selected an onion, and began to crunch thoughtfully. So, the doctor was taller than him, and better looking than him, and had saved the world more times than he had. He could cope with all that, but it was a bit much when the bloke even thrashed him at video games, because that was an Earth thing, a Mickey thing, and he should be allowed to win out there at least. It was just because it was this new weirdo game. Grand Theft Auto or Gran Turismo, or even Sonic the Bleeding Hedgehog, and the doctor wouldn't have stood a chance. But this game, with its jerky viewpoint, freaky graphics, it took time to get used to. Mickey hadn't played it nearly enough yet. Taking another onion, Mickey sauntered back into the other room and switched the games console back on. He was going to master the thing, and then next time the doctor turned up on his doorstep, he'd challenge him to a game. Just a little game, Doctor. Not scared I'll beat you, are you, Doctor? And then he'd show the time-travelling show-off. But the console was playing up. There were all these lights flashing, and it was making this high-pitched sound. And there was no picture on the screen at all. And then Mickey's front door crashed open. For a second, when he saw Percy Porcupine standing in the doorway, Mickey had the mad idea that they knew his console had gone wrong and had sent someone round to sort it. But he knew that was stupid. That wasn't how things worked. And the bloke or girl, who knew which was inside the costume, hadn't even knocked on the door. And then, because he remembered the sort of things that happened when the doctor was about, he suddenly realised that this wasn't a bloke or a girl in a costume after all. So, when the porcupine pointed a gun at him, he really wasn't surprised at all. Chapter 4. Robert had always suspected that his mum wasn't his real mum. And he knew with a passionate certainty that deep inside he was different, special, not like other boys. Then, one day, the proof had come. The letter. The wonderful, glorious letter. Dear Mr. Watson, we beg to inform you that you are really a wizard. We will expect you at Dosbin's Magical College at the beginning of next term. And his mum had to admit that he wasn't really her son.
The hell?
I don't know.
His parents had been famous sorcerers, possibly the most brilliant sorcerers there had ever been. But they had been killed by an evil wizard. It was suspected that the evil wizard had been trying to kill Robert because he was going to be the most powerful wizard that had ever lived. So, Robert had been smuggled away as a baby and given to the most pathetic, feeble, stupid, rubbishy woman they could find, so no one would suspect. But now, the evil wizard was threatening to take over the world, and Robert had to go to magical college to learn spells so he could defeat him once and for all. And all the kids who ever teased Robert would look at him in awe, and the girls would love him. He had to pack his suitcase to go to magical college. He was packing his suitcase to go to magical college, not to go on holiday. He didn't want to go on holiday. Holiday in the sun, Bubbles. Oh, we'll have a wonderful time. But it wasn't the sun part or the holiday part that bothered him. It was the mum part. He could be quite happy lying on a beach, sunglasses hopefully hiding the fact that he was watching the girls in their bikinis, dreaming that any minute now they'd look back at him, and it wouldn't be with pity or disdain for the skinny kid with pale skin and spots. It would be with understanding, as they divined that his soul was the twin of theirs, and it made them want him, need him, be desperate for him. But he had his mum with him. His mum who called him Bobbles, even in front of his friends, even in front of girls. His mum who'd suddenly start rubbing suntan lotion on his back while he was chilling on the sand like he was 6 years old. Who read out things from her horrible women's magazines really loudly so everyone could hear and know that she liked really rubbish things. Who wore rubbish...
Okay, this is this has to be a part of it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go nuts.
Rubbish shoes and really hideous sunglasses.
Either the doctor's reading a book or something happened.
Just to embarrass him. Who'd tell complete strangers about all the funny little things he'd ever done from bedwetting onwards. Who'd make a fuss in restaurants by actually asking questions about the food, making him want to bury his head in shame. Mum hadn't thought they'd be able to afford a holiday this year, and he was so glad because he could stay in his room all summer and listen to CDs and read books and think about how when he went down the shops he might bump into Susie Price and they'd get talking, and she'd hint that she thought he was a really great guy, which was much better than really going down the shops, because he might really bump into Susie Price and none of the rest of it would happen, which would spoil the daydream completely. And his mum, who did go down the shops, had won him this games thing, which only had one game with it, but was really
Oh, okay, yeah.
good anyway, and he'd been playing it loads and was going to win the prize, and he was quite happy to keep on doing that for the summer. But then she'd won this holiday, and it didn't say anywhere on the card if it was for one person or the whole family, but Mum said that these things were always for family, so she was sure it would be okay. And he prayed that it wouldn't be, that it would be just for her, and she'd go off without him and miraculously decide he was old enough to be left on his own, and he could be happy. But she had asked and said she wouldn't go if she couldn't take her Bobbles, and they'd said it was fine. So he was packing his suitcase to go on holiday. When he arrived at Magical College, the head sorcerer shook him by the hand and said, "Robert Watson, this is such an honor. I know you're going to be naturally talented at absolutely everything, because you're special." "Oh, we could go back to your mum's if you want," said the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
And Rose couldn't.
What was that bit about? I thought I was like reading a different book for a second. Harry Potter.
Oh, because it was like different. Yeah, I don't know. What was that?
Oh, but then it, like turned about that game thing. And I'm like,
wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Something.
You know how YouTubers can mess up things.
Yeah, that's true.
Help thinking he sounded unenthusiastic. "I told her we'd be back for tea," she said. "We could do something until then. I know there's not time to save the whole world, but if we can find something smaller that needs saving, like a village or something, we could probably manage that." "So, saving you from a knife-wielding thug doesn't count as my good deed for the day?" he asked. "Yeah, I never got that," said Rose. "Our scouts and brownies and stuff only had to do one good deed a day. I mean, if they, I don't know, saw someone drowning, but they'd already helped an old lady across the road, would they let them sink?" The doctor grinned. Yeah, Scout law's really strict on that sort of thing. You will do exactly one good deed a day and no more. If they accidentally did an extra good deed, they'd have to go and kick a puppy or something to balance it out, or they won't be allowed to go camping. She thought for a moment. Did you have stuff like that? She asked, genuinely curious. Space Scouts or something? He nodded. Oh yeah, I got merit badges in time travel, monstrithology, interfering in the destinies of planets, and cookery. Monstrithology? The doctor grinned. Monster spotting. Or I might have just made that up. They carried on down the road. There were all these posters all along the street. All these giant porcupines wanting you to buy stuff and get free prizes. It looks so cheap, said Rose. They've not even got proper posters done. It's just photos of people dressed up as porcupines. The doctor walked up to a poster on the side of the phone box, so his nose was inches away. He was staring at it hard. If you're wondering why we still have phone boxes when everyone's got mobiles these days, I don't know, Rose said. She reached into her pocket to make the point. Her phone wasn't there. It's probably for daft people who leave their phones at their mums, said the doctor, still staring at the poster. Come on, we're going into town. Why? Monstrithology. I want to find out how it's possible for a human to fit inside a costume like that. See the wrists and the knees? I'd have said it could be done. Rose almost jumped into the air. Aliens? Aliens taking over the planet via shopping? The doctor shrugged. Don't have to be trying to take over the planet just because they're aliens. I'm not trying to take over the planet. The Cookie Monster isn't trying to take over the planet. Well, not the bits which don't involve cookies. She gave him a look. Cookie Monster is a puppet. He just smiled, knowingly. He's got someone's hand up him and some bloke does his voice. The doctor smiled again. You humans are so gullible. I mean, he's really an alien. Cookie Monster. Now the doctor laughed. You humans are so gullible. A bus was drawing up to the curb just ahead. The doctor grabbed Rose's hand and they ran for it, leaping on just as it was pulling away again. The driver glared at them, especially when he found out the doctor actually wanted to pay money for a ticket. He didn't notice that the travel card Rose waved at him had run out a year before. I'm such a criminal, she said, swinging into a seat. Yeah? Well, don't expect me to pay your bail, replied the doctor. So, are they really aliens? She whispered, leaning in close so the nosy old biddies in the seat in front couldn't hear. They had given Rose and the doctor disapproving looks as they had jumped on board. Rose wasn't sure if it was because the bus had already been moving, or because they thought the doctor was old enough to be her father and didn't think much of that. Probably the latter. She felt like shouting at them, so, how do you know he's not my father then? I don't know, he answered. Might be. Probably just a dodgy picture, Photoshop or something. Oh, she said. That seems like cheating somehow. Anyway, where are we going? Bit of shopping. Bit of monster spotting. Just in case. Just in case. The Percy Porcupine booth was right slap bang in the middle of the high street, covered in posters. I wonder if aliens bother with getting planning permission, said Rose. That could be a clue. There was a little queue outside the booth. A couple of people, tickets in hand. The doctor and Rose joined the line and watched the winners hold up their tickets to a little panel with a red light on it. The light went green as the first person was bleeped into the booth and the door slid closed behind them. The light turned red again. Pretty elaborate security for a lottery thing, Rose said. Or maybe they just don't want people stealing the prizes. Or they're expecting the games consoles to break down and don't want to deal with a load of higher-rate computer geeks. Anyway, looks like you need a winning card to get in, said the doctor. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory all over again. The first man came out, a boxed-up games console in hand. The door slid back decisively behind him. The second cure, a woman, held up her ticket. The doctor and Rose sidled close, and the woman frowned. "Excuse us," said the doctor, giving her a charming smile. "We just want to..." But she nipped through the opening door, and it slammed shut behind her before the doctor could even get a foot in the gap. "Just have to wait till she comes out," said the doctor, poised, ready to dive in. "And how are you going to explain this if they aren't aliens?" asked Rose. "I haven't committed any crime," he said. "I'll say I've got stuck on level 6 of Death to Mantideans, and I'm desperate for some gaming hints." Something caught Rose's attention out of the corner of her eye. "Hey, isn't that the woman who just went in?" she said. The doctor looked up. "Yes," he said, staring at the woman who was walking away from them, carrying a box. "I think it is." Rose was thinking hard. "Then this proves it," she said. "They must be aliens. They're luring people into these little huts, then they're duplicating them. Robots or something. That's why they're so security conscious. They don't want us to see the machinery." "Or," said the doctor, who had wandered around the other side of the booth and was beckoning to her, "they were worried we were trying to sneak in, so sent her out the back door." He took his sonic screwdriver from his pocket. "Let's see what their defences are made of," he said. Rose was darting anxious glances up and down the streets. "We are being a bit obvious here," she said. "Couldn't we just try to win something instead?" The doctor was holding the sonic screwdriver in front of the little panel. The screwdriver was buzzing away, but the light remained obstinately red.
Well, sucks.
"Oh, all right," he said, putting it back in his leather jacket.
What?
I said it. That's what you want. That's what you want. Right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
"This doesn't seem to want to open, which hints at alien involvement, yeah," he added to her unspoken question. It was easy to find a shop that carried a promotion. It would have been harder to find one that didn't. The doctor bought a toothbrush, Rose bought a bar of chocolate. They rejoined forces to compare scratch cards. "Sorry, you've not won this time. Please try again," she said. "Yeah, me too," said the doctor, taking the losing card from her, putting both of them in a coat pocket. "Shall we try again?" "Okay," she said. "But can we go into another shop? It's embarrassing if we keep buying bits. Everyone will know we just want to win something."
Okay, hold on. Corey's calling me.
Oh, okay.
How are you doing? Pretty good. Oh, you will? Me too. Cool. Yeah. Don't get to hang as much. Yeah. Yeah. You mean the jerk of a brother-in-law that keeps pestering you? What's he say? You're not going to spend all your money. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. know that they're coming out with a Ride Along 2, right? Ride Along 2? Yeah. Just. I was talking to one of the guys, and the guy said they're coming out with a Ride Along 2. Yeah. Kevin Hart, yeah. I heard about that, but never actually saw it. With what's it with yeah. I should probably see that because Will Ferrell stuff is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you just got it on an DVD? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Your and my grandpa are doing good. Yeah. Yeah. Are you still mad at her or no? Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 I mean, here's the thing. If he was gonna do that, why date you in the first place? That didn't make sense. Like, I know. That does not make a lick of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have no idea. I'll tell you in the morning. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to. Bye.
What are you gonna tell him in the morning?
He's like, we need to get together now. But that's hard considering the fact that, you know.
And what time do you have to eat?
10 minutes from now.
Okay. Are you gonna mute yourself or?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm.
Is everything okay with him and someone?
Nah, he's just talking about what what she sees in this guy that she's with now. That
I'm so glad I don't do that to you.
no, cause I'm like, why did you even date him in the first
What?
place?
If you're not, you know. Poor Corey, you can't find someone.
I know, right?
You need someone like me or like you.
Yeah.
Who's not treated.
If I wasn't dating you, which is not a bad thing, I would have him go to you, but you know, because you wouldn't cheat on him.
No, I wouldn't. I like you too much to give you up.
Message playback. 1 new message. PM. And your final message.
Does your dog do that?
Because it'd be awful if we got a bit embarrassed while we were saving the world, he said. It'll put you right off doing good, that can. She accepted the criticism.
Because I'm so like far into this, I might as well finish the whole thing, you know.
Right. Right. And plus, I like you too much to give you up, Dan.
Anyway, I'm probably just gonna get off this thing.
Oh, you're not gonna unmute yourself?
No. No, I am gonna mute myself. This is one of the reasons I had you do the video.
Oh. Were you a cat or?
Because when I get off the face, when I get off of YouTube, it won't.
Oh. Hey, I like you too much to give you up, Dan. You hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard you.
Doctor Who, Winner Takes All by Jacqueline Ray.
You're not gonna go,
Read
oh.
by Hitler, which would spoil the daydream completely. And his mum, who did go down. Then the Quebble moved aside, revealing a window beyond which was
Went a little bit too far.
You're not gonna be, oh.
but listens to a word I say. But first man came out, a boxed up games console in hand.
Okay.
The door slid back decisively behind him.
Hey, you're not gonna go, oh, when you say that.
A woman held up her tip. The doctor and Rose sidled close and looked. Woman frowned. Excuse us, said the doctor, giving her a charming smile. We just want to. But she nipped through the opening.
I just want to get to the part where I was before before I actually go.
Right.
Sure. And
But
it's
you
that
have to go, oh, after I said that.
just wait till she comes out, said the doctor, before he was ready to dive in. And how are you going to explain this?
Yeah.
What?
You're not gonna go, oh, after I said I like you too much, that I'm not gonna give up on you. On
Oh, sorry.
what?
But I'm not saying oh right when you said it.
You didn't want to say it anyway.
Sorry about that.
You didn't want to say it anyway.
I love you.
I love you too. You didn't want to say it anyway.
Yes, I did.
I just love you. I love you too.
Asked Rose. I haven't committed any crime, he said. I say I've got stuck on level 6 of Death to Mantideans and I'm desperate for some gaming hints. Something caught Rose's attention out of the corner of her eye.
Ooh. What time is it?
10 minutes. Time to eat, Ernie?
Oh, no, you can't stop there. What? Which Russian?
Can you help me?
For $1.
You always do that.
I still want $1. Yeah.
I don't have any app I have on. Let me make your voice in a funny way. Huh. I'll be out there in a minute. Gotta go.
Gotta go eat.
Yeah.
You meet yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Love you.
Me too. Okay. Muted.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Just when I come back. Just when I come back. Just wait, okay. Oh, perfect. Do what you want to do until I come back. Alright, I'm going. Be right back.
No, let's see if I can subscribe. Well, they can make things for themselves, I think. But, okay. Make whatever they're picking for themselves. Oh, make things for everyone else, not for just yourself. Come on. I'm a little hungry, you know. Sorry, Destiny. We don't have food. The only food you got is your Sorry, Des, I don't have food. You gotta eat. You got on that plate. Is that my truck loaded or what? Yes, there's a food over there. I'm going to eat it. Go eat your food, Grumpy. That's where your cat can go inside there and just relax. Cats like that kind of stuff. Oh, you cutie little cat. That's so pretty. You can eat. Can I sneeze on you? Go take a baby.
I'll pick so many people for one word.
Sesame Street, yeah.
It's pretty disgusting. Hey. You there? Hello?
I'm back.
I'm right here.
Oh.
You just have
Sorry.
to shoot yourself. You're alright.
Okay, let me just get off the thing. I forgot.
Alright. How are you? How was dinner? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Darin? Darin?
Come on, you stupid pieces.
Darin? Are you gonna unmute me or what's going on here?
Say something.
Hey.
Okay, good.
Wasn't that working or something?
No, it does that stupid thing where it appears and then disappears after 5 seconds.
I hate that.
So I'm just here, sitting here like an idiot trying to get it to work.
Right. How was dinner, by the way?
And it was good. We had like pork roast and stuff.
Oh, yummy.
What were you doing while I was gone?
Well, I had to try to do a video.
What'd you do?
This is Skyrim one because from Scadsbury, but I didn't want to because I got called off and then I forgot about it. But it's alright.
So yeah, there we go. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah.
She said. The doctor looked up. Yes, he said, staring at the woman who was walking away from them, carrying a box. I think it is. Rose was thinking hard. This proves it, she said. They must be aliens. They're luring people into these little huts, then they're duplicating them. Robots or something. That's why they're so security conscious. They don't want us to see the machinery. Or, said the doctor, who had wandered round the other side of the booth and was beckoning to her, they were worried we were trying to sneak in, so sent her out the back door. He took his sonic screwdriver from his pocket. Let's see what their defences are made of, he said. Rose was darting anxious glances up and down the streets. We are being a bit obvious here, she said. Couldn't we just try to win something instead? The doctor was holding the sonic screwdriver in front of the little panel. The screwdriver was buzzing away, but the light remained obstinately red. Oh, all right, he said, putting it back in his leather jacket. This doesn't seem to want to open, which hints at alien involvement, yeah, he added to her unspoken question. It was easy to find a shop that carried the promotion. It would have been harder to find one that didn't. The doctor bought a toothbrush, Rose bought a bar of chocolates. They rejoined forces to compare scratch cards. Sorry, you've not won this time, please try again, she said. Yeah, me too, said the doctor, taking the losing card from her and putting both of them in a coat pocket. Shall we try again? Okay, she said, but can we go into another shop? It's embarrassing if we keep buying bits. Everyone will know we just want to win something. Because it'd be awful if we got a bit embarrassed while we were saving the world, he said. But put you right off doing good, that can. She accepted the criticism, but remained adamant. It was easier to do stuff like that on spaceships or in the past or whatever, because somehow you didn't mind what people thought of you as much. Like how on holiday you'd wear the sombrero and the novelty t-shirt that you'd never be seen dead in down the youth club. So they went to the shop next door. The doctor bought a pad of post-it notes. Rose bought a biro. Sorry, you've not won this time. Please try again. In the next shop, Rose bought a can of drink. The doctor, obviously tiring of the pursuit, rooted out a load of change and bought 17 copies of the same newspaper one at a time. They stood outside the door, both scratching away at the silver covering on the cards. The doctor occasionally handing out newspapers to passers-by. Not a single card was a winner, and they were running low on cash. I've got an idea, said Rose suddenly. You know how these might be aliens, right? Uh-huh. So their technology is going to be alien technology. If you got hold of one of those games consoles and took it apart, brilliant, he said. It might give us an idea of what they're up to and all. Back to Mickey's then. He nodded. Yeah. Still got the tea bags? She grinned. Yeah. We got enough money for another pint of milk though. There was just enough left, so Rose popped back into the newsagents. The man behind the counter handed her a scratch card, which stupidly took her by surprise, because this was actually shopping they wanted. This is it, she thought. Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. When you're waiting, hoping, desperate to win, you never do. But then, out of the blue, you get another chance. And that's the one. That's how it works. She beamed to herself, imagining the doctor's face when he saw her waving the winning card in triumph and scratched off the silver with a fingernail. Underneath it read, sorry, you have not won this time. Please try again. Chapter 5. Doctor and Rose caught the bus back to the estate and made their way to Mickey's flat. Rose didn't realise that something was wrong. Not at first. Did you leave the door open when you left? She said to the doctor. He shook his head, but he suddenly looked concerned. He went inside, peering here, there, and everywhere. Rose followed him. The flat was empty. In the lounge, the games console lay on the table, and the telly was still switched on. On the floor was a half-eaten pickled onion, tooth mark clearly visible in it. Someone kicked in the door and caught him by surprise, the doctor said. He darted back outside the front door. Look at this, he called. Rose followed him out, and he pushed the door to, pointing at scratches on its lower panel. She said. Claw marks, he said. Whoever kicked open this door had clawed feet. I see the porcupine, she said. Exactly like Percy's porcupine, said the doctor. They went back inside the flat, the doctor closing the door behind them. Amazed his telly's still here if the door's been open long, he said. Hey, said Rose, offended. You don't live here. You're not allowed to say things like that. Is that how it works then? She nodded, sitting down on a chair and surveying the room for clues. Yeah. Like how I'd have a go at anyone who called you a cocky know-it-all who never listens to a word I say. But She broke off. The doctor wasn't listening to her. He had picked up the abandoned games console and was prizing off the back. He started poking around inside. Definitely alien, he said. Bother. Not just really advanced human. He shook his head. No. Do you reckon they've gone around kidnapping anyone who's got one? He shook his head. There must be loads of the things out there. I think someone would have noticed. And what would be the point of that? No, they've taken Mickey for a reason. And I'd say it was fairly obvious what that reason was. Rose thought for a moment, leaning forward in concentration. Are you, maybe? Alien big brain? It's got to be something to do with this game. But Mickey had been playing it for a bit with nothing happening. She suddenly thumped the arm of the chair as realization struck. And then you came along and beat his score. And if I know you, probably the scores of everyone else who's ever played it in like 2 minutes. And they're monitoring the scores somehow. So they send out troops to find this genius and carry him off. But they got Mickey instead, right? The doctor was now putting the game's console back together. You get there in the end, he said, giving her a grin. You'd have thought the moment they saw the lack of intelligence in his eyes, they'd have realised he wasn't the one they wanted, though. Rose frowned. Like I was saying.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Say stuff like that. Anyway, he's not thick. He's got GCM. You don't get to say stuff. Like I was saying. You don't get to say stuff like that. Anyway, he's not thick. He's got GCSEs. I apologise, said the doctor, smiling, not looking sorry in the slightest. She decided to leave it. Well, anyway, what do they want with him? With you? Has this all been some sort of bizarre alien intelligence test? Like they're looking for the most intelligent people and then they kidnap them to drain their brains? The doctor opened his mouth to speak and she almost shouted, "Don't you say a word. You dare make a comment about Mickey's brain when it might be being sucked out by an alien right now." He'd shut his mouth at her to yell, but opened it again now. Could be that. But it's a bit of a random way of going about it. I wouldn't worry, he's probably fine. She was almost comforted. Really? He looked sincere. Yeah, really. A pause. Well, probably.
It's not murder to me. I see things before they happen, but all I ever see are flashes. I keep getting close, and I can only get to one in time.
Then let me help you.
People are going to die right now if we don't stop it.
You think you can fix the past? I never will.
You know how much I see. I can save them.
Tell you what, shall we go and rescue? Probably. Well, probably. Tell you what, shall we go and rescue him? He glanced at the LCD clock on the front of Mickey's video recorder. Still plenty of time before tea. She threw an I don't believe it look at the ceiling. Well, yeah, I pretty much assumed we'd be going to rescue him. The doctor plonked himself down on the other chair. All right then. I mean, I'm not saying I'll miss him now he's gone or anything, but I'd rather he didn't get kidnapped by aliens on my watch, you know? She nodded, biting back a remark. She could still never tell if he was pretending not to care, some dry humour sort of thing, or if he really didn't care. And on the whole, she thought it was probably better in the short term if she didn't find out one way or the other. The doctor didn't seem to be doing anything, though. She waited for a moment and then said, "Well, Thunderbirds a go or what?" "Or what?" he said. "Or did you get a brownie badge in porcupine tracking?" She glared at him. "You're coming that hard? Someone will have noticed a giant porcupine walking about the place carrying someone in its arms or whatever." The doctor shook his head. "Nah," he said. "Have a sniff." She did so, and as she breathed in, a sneeze took her by surprise. "Oh," she said, "better make a wish." "How about, I wish I knew where Mickey had been teleported to," the doctor suggested. "Teleport?" she said. "How can you tell?" "Leaves a distinctive tingle in the air, teleportation," the doctor said, "and means our porcupines are fairly technologically advanced and all." She shivered, thinking of Mickey's atoms being broken down and zapped through the air. "You've managed to reverse teleportation before," she said, thinking back to one of their previous adventures. "Yeah, if I was at the other end where the controls are," he said. "Sorry, no can do here." "No, there's only one thing for it," he grinned, and picked up the games console. "Time to go fishing." It took her a moment, but she got it in the end. "You're going back to Spain. You're going to play the game and hope they come and get you too." "Yep." He pressed a button on the console. The legend "Introduction" appeared on the screen, and the doctor grimaced. "Right, back to the beginning." "At least you don't have to do the training level," Rose said. "Anyway, might learn something."
Hey.
"Dancing cartoon."
I'm just staying in my bedroom. She's looking for something. Well, she's listening to music. You want that door?
Go away, and they hook up with another candidate like Ted Cruz.
Okay. Yeah. They left to the appointment and came back home. Okay. Number 2. Bye.
Sat home.
Oh, but why do you care? Why do you care in the sense that?
I'm not Darren. Just my dad.
Answering your question.
No. But
Did he need something?
No, he just checks up on us because he's at work.
Oh, all right.
Porcupines shimmied across the TV screen, eventually drawing.
Hey, Darren, how long do we have on this?
Okay. Probably gonna get off now.
Yeah, because it's 8:23.
Yeah, and then I'll just listen to the rest of it on my own.
Can I hear you from it though?
Huh?
Stuff off screen here.
Yeah. So hold up. Hold up a second. Hold up a second. you want me to send you the? You want me to send you the book?
Yeah, but can you? Okay, there you go. Thank you. Hi.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Just I want to see you. I want to get off the stream, alright?
Okay.
Bye, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.